What's going on, everybody? I'm Will Ortner. This is Seahawks Today, and we need to break down the players that need to have a big-time performance on Saturday if the Seahawks are going to be able to beat the San Francisco 49ers. We're going to need everyone to have a big performance. But I will say, these 5 players, I think if they really step it up and play at the max potential of what they can be, I think the Seahawks are going to be pretty darn excited on Saturday night, and I think we are all going to be very excited on Saturday night. Help the Seahawk fans find the show. Right now, there are a bunch of Seahawk fans that unfortunately just don't know where Seahawks Today is. If you share the video on social media, it'll help them tune in and catch us, and then maybe they'll subscribe and hang out more with the fam. All right, so the first Seahawks player that I really want to talk about in this matchup is Sam Darnold, because QB1, he's got to deliver if Seattle's going to get to that 14th victory. Sam Darnold has had a very good year by all standards. I might even make the argument that he's had the best year of his career. The problem is that his interception number matches his number on his jersey. Unfortunately, Sam Darnold wears a 14 and not a number 1. Well, he's been throwing the ball really well. A ton of yards, going to be a 4,000-yard passer. He's done a great job of being accurate with the football, right under that 70% completion percentage. Darnold has turned the ball over too many times this season, because that's 14 interceptions. That's not including a lot of the fumbles or any of the fumbles that he's had this year. And unfortunately, again, it isn't just one. He had 2 turnovers in the game against the Carolina Panthers. He had a fumble last time we played the San Francisco 49ers, and while it wasn't necessarily all of his fault, I do want to own that. I think a lot of people think that I am a Sam Darnold hater. I am not. It is important to note that that fumble was crucial in this game, or in that last game. Sam Darnold cannot turn the ball over in this one. Don't give Robert Saleh any opportunities to go after that football, and don't give Kyle Shanahan extra chances with Brock Purdy to score against our defense. I trust Sam Darnold to lead the Seahawks to victory, even if there is a turnover or 2. I think that he's proven this year that he can win big-time ball games, but not everybody agrees with me. Reply down below in the comment section, yes or no, whether you agree that Sam Darnold can win this game for us. And if you say no, I need to hear your reasonings. And it can't just be, Sam Darnold blows, dude. You got to have good responses and good meaning behind what you say. Next player, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, the wide receiver 1 for the Seattle Seahawks. He's been absolutely fantastic this season. But I will say, kind of the dirty little secret, and everybody knows it, is his production has dipped ever so recently with the Seahawks. Now, I'm not blaming that specifically on Jaxon Smith-Njigba. In fact, I'm blaming the others around him. Well, he's had 1,700 yards this season, has a real good shot at getting to 1,800. He's broken every major important record that the Seahawks have at that wide receiver position. What we haven't seen from JSN recently is the big play explosiveness. We have not seen him really get away and get open deep. Why is that? It's because defenses are putting him into a bracket coverage. One guy underneath, one guy over the top. Seattle has to find a way to get the ball to JSN in a spot where he can get away from others. But more importantly, what has to happen for JSN is Seattle has to find a way to get other people open. And that forces other defenses, and the 49ers defense specifically, out of that bracket coverage. If they're able to do that and we get more JSN one-on-one, ooh boy, watch out. Hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel. It'll help you make sure that you are here on Saturday when we have our watch party. We got news coming out on the Seahawks you don't want to miss. And I do need to let you know about the proud sponsor of today's video, and that is our good friends over on PrizePicks. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Whether you're starting a new routine or making player picks for the first time, trying something new can be hard. But in life and on PrizePicks, it always feels good to be right. With high-pressure playoff matchups every weekend and elite hoops action almost every night, the action never stops, and PrizePicks lets you take control. New feature alert! PrizePicks now has early payouts. If your player gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Find your community on PrizePicks with the new social feeds feature. You can share PrizePicks with your friends and copy lineups from winners with a single click. Copy your lineups you like or use them as inspiration for your own picks. You can even follow Prize Picks partners like us and tail or fade our picks with just one click. Producer Chip has a lineup for the action on Saturday. CMC, more on his rush plus receiving TDs. JSN, more on his rush plus receiving TDs. And Sam Darnold, guess what? More on his pass yards. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Next player that I want to talk about, Kenneth Walker III. Great running back for the Seattle Seahawks. He's going to be real darn close, and I mean really darn close, to getting 1,000 yards rushing this season. I think that he needs to have a big game, not because I don't trust Zach Charbonnet. In fact, I think that Zach Charbonnet, after last week, showed you that he can be a running back one in the National Football League. But Kenneth Walker has the big play explosive ability. And we saw this against the LA Rams. When the lights were shining the brightest, who showed up? Kenneth Walker. This ground game has to be on point if the Seahawks are going to be able to win this ball game against the 49ers. We need to control time of possession. We need to keep the 49ers defense out on the field as much as possible. How do we do that? We run the ball effectively. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet have to have a big game, but I need at least one big explosive run. And an explosive run means that's 20 yards or more gained on one play on the ground. I think Kenneth Walker can do it. I think that Kenneth Walker is going to absolutely explode for the Seahawks in this one. Now we're going to dive into some of the defensive players that I really want to talk about. And the first one that we have to talk about is who I believe going to be the defensive rookie of the year, and that's Nick Emmanwori. Nick Demonwori, as I am starting to affectionately call him, has been fantastic this season. And unfortunately, in the first matchup against the 49ers, we didn't really get to see what he could be or how the Seahawks were going to use him because he got hurt 4 plays into the game. But we've seen him basically the rest of the way through the season after he missed those 3 or so games with that ankle injury. And he's been one of the best players in the National Football League. Not just rookies, National Football League. He's making tackles for losses, a lot of them. How many safeties do you see do that? He's able to run with wide receivers. He ran with Justin Jefferson and should have had an interception. Instead led to a knockdown. You're able to add him into the blitz. He takes on offensive linemen and he beats them for sacks in the backfield. And if he played in every game this year, he might be competing with Ernest Jones for most tackles on this football team. He'd easily be a triple-digit tackle leader. Nick Emmanwori is a freak of all freaks, and we're going to need him in this one if we're going to slow down all of the different weapons that 49ers offense has. Can we do it? Can we? I'm asking you, because I need you to let me know in the comment section right now. Will the Seahawks beat the 49ers on Saturday? I think that we will. I better see you in the comment section saying, yes, we will, or yes, we will because of these factors. Make sure that the Seahawks know you got their back. Last player that we're going to talk about, Devon Witherspoon, the do-it-all freak cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks. Again, he did get hurt in the first matchup. If I remember correctly, he did play in most of that game. In fact, he might have finished that game before the injury issue really kind of bit him and became a deal. Devon Witherspoon has to be our cornerback one and has to stop this passing attack. In fact, I would love it if he picked off Brock Purdy in a last-minute type of situation here. Devon Witherspoon is the fiery leader of this defense. I think Ernest Jones is the cerebral leader. Where it comes to fire and getting the boys juiced up, ready to go, it's Devon Witherspoon. Devon Witherspoon having a big game is going to give all the rest of that defense the confidence to come out and play with their hair on fire and beat that San Francisco 49ers. All 5 players have to play well. I'm not disputing that. All 5 of them do. But if all 5 players do, they are all in leadership roles on this team, and they are all the type of players that will get the rest of the team the confidence to go out and perform as best that they can. Seattle needs to beat San Francisco. When we get the 1 seed, we go to the Super Bowl. Got to do everything that we can to get that 1 seed. Share the video on social media so that way the 49er fans know that we're coming and they know that we're going to beat them. Let 49er fans see the content that we've got going by sharing the video with them on social media so they get a little bit angry. And make sure to subscribe to the channel. We got content coming out every single day on the Seattle Seahawks. And I do say it's pretty darn good content. At least it's good enough content for a bald man to put out there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll catch you guys next time.